TNT Card Hobby, we have another old game video for you. That's right, you sunk my battleship! Oh, wait. No, you didn't. Never mind. You did not sink my battleship because there's no battleships to sink. That's right, we're talking about Stratego today. And if some of you read the title, I probably gave it away. So you probably didn't even laugh at my joke. So sad. Is there a wah there? Trombone. Yeah. All right. So Stratego, we have two of them here to show off. Let's go ahead and scale down to them, and we will show them off right here. So the first Stratego is the old Stratego. Yes, and that is copyrighted in 1997. Wow, that is an old boy. So let's go ahead and look.
That is actually 1975.
Yes, it's very odd because we actually have two boxes here. It's very strange because the copyright date is located on the front right here, saying 1975, but on the back here, I guess we can kind of show that, right? Yeah. So right down here, as I was saying before, like 1975. Very strange. But in the back, 1977. Very, very strange. So I don't know what has gone there and why it actually says two different dates on this box, but it does. Very, very strange. And so what can you do in this game? What is actually going to be happening in Stratego? Well, I will go ahead and tell you what's going to happen in Stratego. So, here in Stratego, you plot and prepare for your victory. Can you plot the perfect victory? I don't know. We will have to find out. So, the game is your battlefield. You have armies of men and 6 bombs at your disposal. Your mission is to capture the opponent's flag and protect your own. You and your opponent secretly place your men, and then the bombs and the flags on the game board. Once the armies are in place, advance your men. One space away from your enemy, attack! Your opponent declares its rank. Lower rank man is captured and taken out of play. Move with caution and courage. And the next piece of attack could be the bomb and blast your man off the board. Oh, the humanity! The first to capture the enemy flag wins! Yes. You could not see what I was doing, but I had long flowing hair. It was amazing. It was off camera, and I got bald again. And, so what do you get in this game? Well, let's go ahead and open it up. And Chevy's going to tell you a little bit about the changes they made to the game as it went through the years.
So, I was going to interject there and say you're about as bald as the man on the front of that box.
I do wish I had his lovely mustache.
All right, so there's two readings for this guy.
Yeah.
The first one is kind of what he just read, but not really. So it is Stratego is a strategy board game for 2 players on a board 10 by 10 squares, and each player controls 40 pieces representing individual officer and soldier ranks in an army. The pieces have Napoleonic insignia. The objective of the game is to find and capture the opponent's flag, or to capture as many enemy pieces that the opponent cannot make any further moves. Stratego has simple enough rules for young children to play, but strong enough, but a depth of strategy that is also appealing to adults. The game is a slightly modified copy of an early 20th century French game called L'Attaque. It translates to the attack. It has been in production in Europe since World War II and in the United States since 1961. There are now 2 and 4 player versions with 30, 10, 30, or 40 pieces per player. and boards with smaller sizes, number of spaces. There are also variant pieces and different rustlets. The International Stratego Federation, the game's governing body, sponsors an annual Stratego World Championship. And let me just scroll down here to the other guy here. Okay, so this is the classic version of this. Stratego was created by Dutchman Jacques John Magnus. I butchered that thing terribly. Sometime before 1942. The name was registered as a trademark in 1942 by the Dutch company Van Persteen and Roper Bosch NV, which also produced the first edition of Monopoly. After World War II, Magnus licensed Stratego to Smets and Schnippers, a Dutch company, in 1946. Houseman and Hout acquired a license in 1958 for European distribution and in 1959 for global distribution. After Meggendorf's death in 1961, Houseman and Haas purchased the trademark from his heirs and sublicensed it to Milton Bradley, which was acquired by Hasbro in 1984. In 1961 for United States distribution. It is introduced to the people of the United States as the American version of the game now popular on the continent. In 2009, Houseman and Hout was succeeded by, I cannot pronounce that, in the Netherlands. The modern game of Stratego with its Napoleonic imagery was originally manufactured in the Netherlands. Pieces were originally made of printed cardboard and inserted in metal clip stands. After World War II, painted wood pieces became standard. In the early 1960s, all versions switched to plastic pieces. The change from wood to plastic was made for economical reasons, as was the case of many products during that period. But with Stratego, the game also came with a structural function. Change also served a structural function. Unlike the wooden pieces, the plastic pieces were designed with a small base. The wooden pieces had none, often in resulting in pieces tipping over. This was disastrous for that player, since it often immediately revealed the piece's rank, as well as unleashing a literal domino effect of having a piece knocking all over all the other pieces. European versions introduced a cylindrical castle-shaped piece that moved to be popular. American editions later introduced new rectangular pieces with more stable base and colorful stickers, not images directly imprinted to the plastic. The European versions of the game gave the Marshal the highest number, 10, while the initial American versions gave the Marshal the lowest number, 1, to show the highest value. It is number 1, the most powerful tile. The most recent version of the game, which adopted the European system, caused considerable complaint among American players who grew up in the 60s and 70s. This may have been a factor of the release of the Nostalgic Edition in a wooden box, reproducing the Classic Edition of the early 1970s.
I want that. I want the wooden box. I like wooden boxes.
So there's also the modern version. The electronic Stratego was introduced by Milton Bradley in 1982. It has many features that make many aspects of the game strikingly different than the classic. Each type of playing piece in electronic Stratego has a unique series of bumps on its bottom that are read by the in-game's battery-operated touch-sensitive board. When attacking another piece, a player hits their strike button, presses their piece, and then their targeted piece. The game either awards a successful attack or punishes a failed strike with an appropriate bit of music. In this way, the players...
What kind of music is it?
Very appropriate.
Oh.
In this way, the players never know for certain the rank of that piece that wins the attack, only whether the attack wins, fails, or ties.
I actually like that. I mean, it kind of doesn't give away a lot of what you actually have. So if you went with number 2 man, it could have only been like a number 3. So I like that a lot better. It doesn't tell you it's your greatest number on the field. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. There's also the where the heck was I? Instead of choosing to move a piece, a player can opt to probe an opposing piece by hitting the probe button and pressing down an enemy piece. The game then beeps out a rough estimation of the strength of that piece. There are no bomb pieces. Bombs are set using pegs placed on a touch-sensitive pegboard that is closed from view prior to the start of the game. Hence, it is possible for a player to have their piece occupying a square with a bomb on it. An opposing piece lands on the seemingly empty square. The game plays the sound of an explosion, and that piece is removed from play. As in the classic Stratego,
I think we're gonna move on though, because
I'm basically done here.
Oh, okay.
Here. Only a miner can remove a bomb from play. A player who successfully captures the opposing flag is rewarded with a triumphant bit of music from 1812 Overtune. There's a bit more to that, but if you want to continue reading this, go to the Stratego wiki page. There'll be a lot more information there.
I actually used to know the Overtune, but now I can't actually think of it. So I wish I kind of knew it. But yeah, this has been our video on Stratego. We have both games here in our video game, or not our video game, our board game library. We definitely would like for you to come down to TNT Card and Hobby. If you like what we're doing, if you think it's amazing, or if you just like to hear the stories of the old games and also the games kind of related to the versions of the games that are coming out on the board game library. I think this is a format that we're going to be going with in the future forward, just because it gives you some knowledge of the old games. And it's a lot of fun to see where these games have come from. And I think maybe going forward, we're looking for games of similar type too. So like if it doesn't have an old game, like we'll look back on the backlog and say, hey, this other game kind of started this. This is where the monster dungeon thing started showing up, you know, and we'll be doing things like that. So a lot of fun. Patreon down in the comments, really would appreciate that. Also, if you could hit that like, subscribe, and share. Your friend networks are better than our friend networks, so definitely getting that out there. And there's a ton of flies around. I don't know if you can see that, but they're very annoying. So
it looks like they can see that.
I don't like it. So, must be doing without lights here, leaving the doors open all the time. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. It was a bad idea. But sacrifices had to be made. See ya!
And one last thing before we actually end this video here. If you want to see more of these reads, let us know. And we may start putting them up on the Patreon as well.
No, I think we'll still keep it for the content, actually. We don't really need to throw that behind anything at all. We have, like, a lot better things to put underneath there. Like, I really like doing, like, the behind-the-scenes things, because this is something we're actually promoting, so we won't be doing that. So, yeah, definitely not for the reads, because we could definitely we could do a whole bunch of reads, though, on the channel itself, which would be really cool. So, I guess, see ya!
See ya.